G'day guys, we're going to have a look today at how we control the soccer ball through the passing technique, and then potentially look into how we might reshape that a little bit for our shooting. For parents at home, just have a look at how we might be able to set different targets here and how those targets provide us with some feedback about, one, how the technique's being executed, but then how accurate it is and how those targets actually reshape the way we think about the kick. So if we start in the first instance with just a really simple passing technique, we can have a look here as I've got my soccer ball at what we might be able to do with our body. So the key elements that I'm looking for is that I'm looking to step next to the soccer ball with my non-dominant foot. You'll notice that my body is over the top of the ball here so that I can control the ball on the ground. My kicking foot or my dominant foot's going to swing through and hit the ball with the instep of my foot. Okay, let's have a look. Stepping next to, instep, and following through towards my target. Okay, we'll go again. Stepping next to the ball, hitting with the instep, and following through towards the target. Really important that that body stays up over the top of the ball so we're not lifting the ball and we can maintain control along the ground. You have a go. So we're going to have a go at using our passing technique to hit a range of targets here. Let's think about the fact that the target and the accuracy in the first instance doesn't need to be the critical component. So what we're looking for is opportunities to be successful. And that question is, well, what is success? Well, here it's actually just executing that correct passing technique. So the range of targets, the range of distances that we might kick from, and if there's a defender or things like that that are creating a choice that we have to make, they all create different levels of complexity. So I've actually got a couple of targets set out on the ground with some water bottles, a bucket and another water bottle there, and I won't use those chalk marks in the first instance because I'm just looking to keep the ball on the ground. We could also see that we can set the ball not far away from those targets and provide the opportunity to move back. So if we consider what we might refer to as an inclusion approach to teaching, I'm not going to define how far somebody has to stand back or how big those targets are. It might be quite useful to allow your child to actually set those targets for themselves. But those targets are helpful in providing some of that feedback. So what it might look like is I might nominate to actually hit that bucket there. And if I can step and follow through and hit that bucket, I might then get the opportunity to think about, well, I can execute that technique with some level of accuracy. Can I hit my water bottle that I've got set out there as well? So I'm going to change the direction of my body and hit that water bottle. So set out a range of targets and look for the opportunity to hit those targets, whether it's the object itself or between two if you need a larger area. And potentially if we get 3 successful knocks of that target in a row, we can look to move further back or provide 2 targets and a defender that chooses one direction to actually defend. Okay, so I've just moved the camera so that it is in front of essentially that bucket, that initial target that I had, because I just wanted you to see that technique front on. Okay, so what we should be looking at here is that I'm looking at those targets, I then come in and play through the ball, and I get some feedback about what's occurring. But just an opportunity to see that technique from the front. Here we are with the ball on the ground. I'm going to aim to a target on the side, try not to hit my camera, and I'm lining my body up to be able to play through. And hopefully you heard, I hit my bottle there, and then I can set myself a greater challenge. So what I've got set out here is still my bottle's on the ground. In this instance, what you could imagine is that that bucket or something else is acting as a goalkeeper. So regardless of what you are doing in terms of the targets that you're hitting, you're now ensuring that you don't hit that target or that object that's acting as the goalkeeper. But we're going to look at a slight adjustment here, and I'm going to use my chalked areas up on the wall. So I actually need to think about now in shooting a ball, how I might create some height or lift the ball off of the ground. My technique is quite similar in that I'm still planting my non-dominant foot next to the ball, but my body position here allows me to gain a little bit of height. So as I come forwards to that ball, plant my non-dominant foot now slightly further back. That gives me the opportunity to get a little bit underneath the ball as I swing through. So my body position is a little bit further back, allows some lift as I swing through that technique. And I'm now no longer hitting with the instep, but I'll actually hit more towards the top of my laces. So I'm going to run into this and try and hit one of those targets. Let's have a look. Not quite, a little bit of a miss, but you can see I've actually leant my body back a little bit through that motion, and it's allowed me to lift the ball. So if you're a parent watching your children at home go through this technique, look for what has been done well in adjusting where the ball was hit on the foot, how the ball has actually been lifted, and whether the general direction of that shot has gone to the right place. Okay, so you can change again those size of the targets, look for what has worked well, and there might be some slight adjustments in how that kick is actually executed. The reality is that through practice, I will gain some of that feedback based on where the ball's gone and make those adjustments. I'll do a quick kick to the other side and let's see if that changes at all in terms of opening my body up. Here we go, lofting that ball. And pretty close to my chalked square. Have a play around with it. Look here that there's an opportunity to create different size targets, different distances to shoot from, and that the inclusion of a goalkeeper or a defender, or gaining the ball on the move in the first instance, provides a range of contexts for us. Thanks, team.